Okay, good evening to all the respected edu leaders and the eminent personality from the different field, from education, society, and many more. We have once again gathered here with a beautiful and interesting topic under the banner of Indian Forum of Educators. On behalf of the entire team, I, Dr. Prasenjit Karmakar, Administrator of Sant Sri Nandalal Smriti Bal Vidya Mandir, Rajasthan, and the core team member of IFE, that is Indian Forum of Educators, I welcome you all from the core of my heart. Today's topic, as you know, that expanding human potential through empowerment and 360-degree well-being coaching. So before going in details, let me tell you something about the IFE, that is the Forum of Educators, Indian Forum of Educators. This is a forum of educators, including directors of school, principal, academic and administrative supervisor, coordinators, principals, as well I already told, and the teachers also. In general, I should say that this is a forum of educators in a nutshell. We too aim at the students, the young minds, the young leaders, the upcoming leaders of the society, and the parents too, because we know that they are the eminent factors for the holistic as well as the overall development of the education for the coming society. We know that a leader is one who creates more and more leaders behind him, just instead of making them followers. So our target, the target of IFE, the Indian Forum of Educators, is to organize such type of knowledge sharing session for the leaders, for the educators, for the teachers throughout the country and abroad. We also have some ambassador programs for the young leaders, as I told you, for the students. We are having the happy parenting session, and very soon we are going to conduct. We are having the online petition. We are working for the society as well as for the education, and also the online opinion poll to make people engage and to know their thought process for the current scenario for the coming generation. So particularly this today's session, we will discuss the mental well-being, and a great personality today here with us from Sydney, Australia. She will be introduced very soon. Let me tell you that with taking Swami Vivekananda, that every soul is potentially divine, and the sole purpose, our intention and objectives for this particular session is to provide you all with a leading edge knowledge, the tools and skills most relevant to empowerment and also 360-degree well-being coaching. We will start for simplified model in holistic growth with the health and well-being scenario, and extend to human innate potential, which expands to the minds of a genius like Aristotle and Tesla. Aristotle, we all know that he never believed in the traditional way of learning and the factual learning. He told that where research is not there, where knowledge sharing is not there, learning is valueless. So all these things we will discuss in this particular session. So before going to the main topic, let me introduce one person who is behind the curtain of organizing such a wonderful and exciting seminars and webinars under the IFE. He is none other than our esteemed Dr. Surendra Das. He is the director of Edubrata. He is also the founder director of the IHF Wellness Orbiteria. He is also the founder, the main topic of discussion. He is the founder of Indian Forum of Educators, and we all are blessed having him as our mentor for this progress of education. To add some more, I should say that he is the chief mentor of Global Wellness Forum, under which the participants, you are going to get the certificate for today's particular seminar. He was the former director of Quality Assurance Superhouse Education Foundation. And but not the least, he is a true educationist, a trainer, and author in true sense of the term. So without wasting much time, let me request all of you to put your microphone in mute position, and for the camera it is up to you. It would be better if it is on, and if it is off it is up to you, no problem. So it is over to Dr. Surendra Das sir for a brief introduction of our speaker. Over to you, sir. Dr. Das, you are getting me?
Hello.
Yes, yes, sir, please.
Okay. A very good evening to one and all the dear IFians and the invited guests who have joined today's webinar. I'm very glad that now nearly 49 members have joined, and few more will be joining very soon. Not wasting much of your time, I have the pleasure to introduce our guest, Helena Vukus. She is one of the leading spiritual teacher of Australia, and she's not only one of the leading spiritual teacher, but she is a healer par excellence and a very wonderful art visionary. She is also a dynamic 360-degree coach, and she's an expert in the field of human potential. Today's topic, as all of you know very well, is expanding human potential through empowerment and also through 360-degree coaching. Now, I would definitely like to make a mention about Helena's greatest invention, and that is 7-layered color-coded Tesla Genius Framework. I repeat, 7-layered color-coded Tesla Genius Framework. Now, I'm not talking about the Tesla car, but I'm talking about the Serbian scientist Nikola Tesla, who had worked with the great inventor and also had certain dispute with Marconi, who was considered as the inventor. But in reality, up till 1943, nobody knew that it was Nikola Tesla who has actually contributed as far as the invention of radio is concerned. So Helena has done a wonderful invention which is known as Tesla Genius Framework. She has empowered and she has impacted more than 2,000 persons all over the globe through this, her dynamic teaching, dynamic consultation, and through this Tesla Genius Framework. One of her most popular saying I like to share, and then I'll invite Helena Bukas. She says that everybody is a genius. Everybody is a genius, and if you want your genius to become awakened, to become alive, follow your heart and soul. With these wonderful words of Helena Vukus, I invite her to start today's webinar. Welcome, Helena.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Surendra. Thank you, everyone, for being part of this amazing visionary team. So much that can be said in the next 45 minutes. Just first of all, I'm grateful for your great vision, for believing and knowing that human potential extends to existential. There is no limit to human potential. And I'll repeat, every human being, this is my belief and this is my knowledge, which is coded in my genes and DNA. Every human being is born with a gene of a genius. Your genius becomes alive when you follow your heart and do what you love. So it's the heart and it's the soul. So I won't be talking much about me. Basically, shortly, English is my second language. I came to Australia from Tesla country, but I do come from a highly diverse and disadvantaged background. So I've been through a lot in life, including war, Balkan War. So I live here in Liverpool, Southwest Sydney, which is a highly diverse and disadvantaged community. And I'm probably one of the very rare people that have achieved what some people don't believe it's actually possible to achieve. So I've been recognized on a global scale for transforming lives and future of many, many people. And some of those, how would I say, how I do it from the perspective of my education and training, and also I use some of my own personal experiences and tools that I have learned in my life through my own life experiences. So I'll quickly go through a couple of crucial points and things that I'm going to touch upon, so I can quickly come to a little Tesla model. Can you guys all see me?
Please put yourself on the full screen.
On the full screen. I'm on the full screen, so it might be on. It's on a full screen on my side. Can you see me?
The participants can pin the video, so she would appear on the full screen.
I can see I'm showing up, but I'm not touching anything. I'm on the full screen.
The participants can pin the video, so she will appear in the full screen.
Okay, so the human potential, empowerment, and 360 coaching, 360 degrees. So it's a quite broad topic, which I have summarized in a couple of things that are very, very easy to understand and integrate. And I will provide on each one that I'm going to cover and touch upon, I'm going to provide some further reference. So each participant can actually, whatever I say, you can go and do some research, whether you want to go on a Wikipedia or whether you want to go and get some books, because I love books. Books are one of the things that I do for my personal development, regardless of my studies and degrees. I always use my own reference and read books that capture my heart and soul. So some of the challenges that we're going to tackle tonight we live in a very rapid environment, fast-paced environment, and we experience on a global scale a number of people that suffer from stress, depression, anxiety, mental illnesses. We've got lots of domestic violence here where I live, marriage breakdowns. We have lots of kids that fall out of schools and to drugs, lots of addictions. So we've got mental, emotional challenges, as I have said. Then we've got social or global on a bigger scales, which include wars, and now we experience another one, which COVID-19. So solutions to above challenges, there are many, and I'll touch upon some of them, and one of them is empowerment. So each one of us, we do have power within. So the wisdom of the words, every word has a deeper meaning. So if we write down the word empowerment and we look into the word, so M, power, me, and T. So the word empowerment is actually what it really means. Empowerment comes from within. So in today's society, many people mix motivation with empowerment. It's not the same thing. Motivation can be intrinsic and it can be extrinsic. So what we're actually looking for, when we look into the empowerment, we're actually looking for intrinsic motivation. What is the person's internal or intrinsic driver for particular behavior or action or thing that they want to do? So empowerment comes from within. That's one of the crucial lessons or maybe terminology that I'm pinpointing now at the beginning. So empowerment and coaching, empowerment which comes from within. So it's not going to be me, I'm going to be sharing how to bring that empowerment so that we can expand potential in all areas of our lives, and how from there the potential of a genius like Nikola Tesla. And Nikola Tesla, a beautiful voice that he has said, if you wish to find of the universe, think in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration. And this is who we are as human beings. We are physical, we see each other, but behind that physical is metaphysical component. So if we break down our body, we'll actually come across energy, or in science, what science is this these days called the Higgs boson area of. So what Higgs boson means, it actually relates to enlightenment. So empowerment, power that comes from within. So coaching, holistic coaching means wholly, or the whole aspect. We're coaching every single aspect of the human being: mental, emotional, spiritual, social, financial, or educational at the same time. And I'm going to go on that separate. So we'll be looking into some solutions to above challenges, and disempowerment, or emotional challenges, depression, anxiety, mental illness. This doesn't have to happen in the 21st century with a bit of education and understanding of who we truly are and what potential we do have in life. So I've been on a journey where I have studied multiple holistic modalities aside from my academic studies. And anyone that is experiencing emotional challenges, I suggest to look into holistic healing modalities such as Reiki, shamanism, dance therapy, therapies, art therapies, and similar. Because we each resonate with a different modality, or maybe at different stages in our lives, we might require or benefit from particular modality. So, mindset, mental area of the human life. So the human mind is composed of all, the way we can look into it, we can look at it from the perspective of two different areas. We've got the brain and we've got the mind. And Nikola Tesla had said, my brain is only a receiver. So basically the brain is in the head, while the mind, it's all the energy, and it's actually consciousness. So certain practices such as meditation, they actually help us to open our mind or open our brain to receive or absorb information from higher sources of consciousness. And Surendra has put a really beautiful, in his article, has put a really beautiful formula, which says information that we absorb from the outside, it will determine the quality of our life and what's going to happen. So the mindset tools, they're very, very powerful. And in positive psychology, commonly used, it's called affirmations. So affirmations are very powerful techniques where we actually develop certain sentences or words that we repeat. And it's like a mantra. And we repeat until we really feel it and integrate it in our body. So for example, one of the empowering statements that I used to say to myself in the past, I'm in control of my life. I'm in control of my thoughts. And I can be, do, or have anything that I want to. So it's the power of belief, power of mindset, which is a very powerful tool for changing the mindset. And also to empower and inspire ourselves on a daily basis for doing things that, whether we love to do them or be inspired to do them, whatever it is. So, psychology of the mind. If we look into the mind and mental development or cognitive intelligence, whatever it is, mind and cognition, I usually use three theories: Maslow, Jung, and Freud. So they're very simple. They have come up with a very simple model of how we operate as a human beings, how our cognition operates. So Maslow has developed a theory of human needs, motives, and values, which is the model that he uses is a pyramid. So in his pyramid, he says that the bottom needs that we human needs are physiological needs: water, shelter, and food. And then we've got, so that's the bottom level, which is a red one, and it's actually associated with the red chakra, the bottom red chakra of the body, red color. And red color associate us with the red blood, which is the pain. So through life, the physical body goes to the pain to satisfy the basic physiological human needs. And then the second one is safety needs, the orange color. So the third one is love and belonging. So it's only when some theories, they say it's only at the point when we reach, when we pass the lower stages or steps, which is physiological and safety, that we can actually shift into love and belonging. But basically, if we look into the love and belonging, it's the heart chakra. And it's all about self-esteem, and it's all about empowerment. It's something that can shift us faster to the Maslow hierarchy of the human needs. So above love and belonging, we've got self-esteem needs. So what self-esteem needs are about, going back to us. So we're focusing on the self, and this way self-responsibility kicks in. And this is where self-respect kicks in, and it's all about the self. So last two stages, second last stage. And then the last stage on the top of the Maslow pyramid of the human needs, we've got self-actualization. So self-actualization is the highest need that, unfortunately, from understanding, not many of us might be able to reach to that stage without coaching or some mentoring or complete mindset change, because where we are at as a society, especially here in Australia, many people are experiencing diversity, disadvantages, and poverty, and they're stuck at the bottom level, and it's going to take them a long, long way up toward the top. And now we are experiencing the global scale financial crisis and also COVID-19, which will, COVID-19 will lead to lots of side effects. And one of them, one of those side effects will be recession and regression, and it's gonna create an impact on all of us. So when I say an impact, it's gonna impact different aspects of our being, including emotional and spiritual, mental, all those aspects. So the Maslow is a simplified model of how we human beings, operate and grow through life. So it focuses upon human needs, motives, and values. And we need to shift beyond that. So we need to look into integrating all those areas of life before we reach to the particular stage. So what I say, I'm developing different models that can help people easier understand how to get to that stage. And one of them, okay, so it would be here. So that's a Maslow's pyramid of the human needs. So what I say, we need to shift beyond that pyramid and tweak it the other way around. So for an example, if I work today and spend 8 hours at work, I won't have much time to do certain things. But if I create a schedule that will enable me to cultivate all other areas of life, I will still shift toward that top of the pyramid. And I'll go back to my life experience back in 2009. I went through a major career trajectory in the pursuit of my childhood dream, which is to become an architect. So I was a very creative and intuitive person when I was younger. So through my career trajectory, in the midst of my studies for the degree in marketing, I was intuitively guided to meditate upon the meaning and purpose of life. And into my daily, regular meditation practice, I started to see inner visions of my future self. And when I say inner visions, now I'm shifting into Jung's psychology. And Jung had said, who looks outside dreams, who looks inside awakens. So Jung, who is one of the greatest psychoanalysts, he knows that inside, in our heart, it's our intuition, our innate intelligence that can help us to actually see that inner vision. And I had that through meditation. And I see meditation as a crucial component or an element that in today's society, with so many challenges that we experience on a global scale, meditation really needs to be integrated in kids' schools, in workplaces, pretty much everywhere, at people's homes. So we can all spend, it doesn't have to be an hour, I say to people. It can be only 10, 15 minutes, but that connection with the heart. Because when we look at us humans from the perspective of multiple intelligences, we are born with multiple intelligences. Some are dominant to us when we're born. We are gifted. We are born with them. Others we develop as we, through life, we learn and develop. But intuition is, we all have that intuition. The heart is about intuition. And this is what we, through busy life, we forget to cultivate. And it's the time to get back to that, to heart-centered practices, mindfulness, and holistic healing modalities. So the Jung has spoken a lot about the unconscious and the darkness, bypassing the darkness. So I suggest to anyone to get their hands on Jung's work, because it's far greater than anything, and it's no point of me talking about it, but what I can say, his work extends beyond human psychology. It actually extends to astrology, numerology, and cosmology. And this is who we are. It's all part of us, and there is a lot behind numerology and astrology. So Jung, Maslow, and the third one is Sigmund Freud. So Sigmund Freud had said that he developed the Iceberg Model. And in his Iceberg Model, he said that over 90%, roughly, or approximately, 94% of human mind is unconscious. It's under the water, so we know the way. So when we look into, for an example, I want to do something today, and I don't know why I want to do something today. And that why can go back to my unconscious habits, motives, beliefs, or maybe even someone told me, you need to do this, you have to do this. So we humans, we become like a robot or a slave to our brain, which in reality is over 90% unconscious. And the best way to look into our behavior and unconscious, or break through that unconscious habits and patterns, is actually daily self-reflection and daily meditation practices. So back to Maslow. Maslow on the top of the pyramid, self-actualization, he has mentioned and spoken about transcendence. Transcendence fits into his level of self-actualization, but in reality, if we look at transcendence, it's transcendental field of transcendental psychology, which actually shifts into spiritual practices. Meditation, transcendental meditation, which is the experience that for those like me who meditate, we reach to that stage where we can tap into many visions and tap into things that are non-physical reality. And this is from where all the knowledge comes from. This is from, this is our, how would I say, maybe the highest pitch of our intuition. So I encourage everyone to do a bit of reading and studying and reflection about Maslow, about Carl Jung and Sigmund Freud. So what I would love to bring up is, I mentioned before, is a childhood dream. So there is a beautiful saying which I say, actually I'll use the Mark Twain, one of my favorite quotes. Mark Twain had said, the two most important days in your life is the day you are born and the day you discovered why. So it's the day we're born and the day we discovered why. So I might not necessarily remember exactly the day I was born, but the way I discovered why, I remember exactly the night when it happened. And this is when I went through a career trajectory, and I was guided to meditate upon the meaning and purpose of life. And I was able to see my future vision, my life purpose. This is the purpose of the soul. So each one of us is born onto this earth with the unique purpose in life. And which goes back to also what Pablo Picasso had said. The purpose of life, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. And in my situation, where my childhood dream was, it was to become an architect. And my life vision, which is what I'm doing now. And I've seen all these visions even back to my meditation, most of them. And I'm actually creating innovative coaching and learning tools to help people stretch their mind, to help people empower each area of their lives. So Steve Jobs, another genius, has said, follow your heart and intuition. They already know who you're meant to become. So we already know our innate intelligence, our intuition, we know. But the problem is, we are conditioned so badly that we listen to our mind. We are led through each day by our unconscious habits and patterns, that we don't stop and reflect who we truly are. We don't stop to reflect on our childhood dreams. We don't stop to meditate and ponder upon the deeper meaning and purpose of life. Who am I? Why am I born into this life? So may this please all for you, for everyone, be something as an encouragement to start daily meditation practices. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to have a meditation teacher. You can just read about simple meditation practices on Google, which is something that I have done in the past, and just start to meditate. Once you start to meditate, your intuition will guide you through meditation. And if we pray through meditation and put an intention to discover our life purpose, sooner or later, it's going to come up. Vision's going to come up. So, childhood dreams. So Carl Jung had said, you cannot connect the dots by looking forward. So the forward, it's up. You can connect them only by looking backwards. So what he really meant, Steve Jobs, so what he really meant, when you look backwards, we can see our childhood dreams. In the present, we can see our unique strengths, talents, gifts, and abilities. We do have values. We do have things that we love to do. We do have interests. And then the life purpose and vision is one step further. So these would be all guiding points or dots toward the life purpose. But from my understanding, and as someone that has been trained in multiple modalities that can help people discover their life purpose, I have come across very little people that have discovered their purpose, that have seen the vision of the future self. And each one who did that have discovered it through meditation. So meditation is the greatest tool on earth that we can use in today's society that will help us to maximize our potential and also help us empower. So the empowerment comes from within, and meditation works through all the chakra. It works as a heart opener. So let's start practicing. So human potential, barriers to human potential, the greatest barrier is the mind, limited mind, beliefs. And so we need to stretch our mind and see ourselves as much more than just what our mind, which is over 90% unconscious, and it's full of limited beliefs. So we need to have that picture and understanding and knowledge and will to become more than what we are or what that we think that we can become. So another big barrier is environment that we live in. So many of us have been born in families or a culture where we didn't come across many people who we can call our influencers, or maybe we can call them as our influencers, but unfortunately their vision was not much bigger than their own family. So one thing that for empowerment that I would suggest, and I always suggest to everyone to do, is to find an influencer, a role model that we can study and absorb their mind, their belief sets. So for an example, in my situation, when I have discovered my life purpose, I got my hands on books by Anthony Robbins, Robin Sharma, Bruce Lipton, Dr. John DeMartini. So it's all about personal development. And this is all people who have achieved in life much more than ordinary human being can actually comprehend or think of. And I actually ended up studying and working with Dr. John DeMartini from 2013. And for that, I'm grateful for, because it helps me to stretch over my boundaries and acquire progressive coaching skills that I can integrate, not just on myself, but also through my work and also through my relationships, through everything. So influences, they're very, very important in empowerment. So values, I'll quickly touch upon values. So we've got two different types of values, intrinsic and extrinsic. Extrinsic values we absorb from our teachers, preachers, mentors, friends, influencers around us. So as we grow and develop in life, we need to be constantly aware of our extrinsic and extrinsic values. So the fastest way to expand, empower, and expand on our potential is actually to pursue our intrinsic values. Because intrinsic values, they're directly linked with intrinsic motives. But then we don't need any motivation for what we intrinsically driven and motivated for, we inspired to do. So no one needs to tell us. For an example, and I just shared with someone at work today, I'm surprised in nearly 2 years of my current work, I haven't taken a day off. I didn't call in sick. And this is, I'm inspired every morning. My work is not my work. My work is my love. And it's very, very important for each one of us. Sometimes, unfortunately, we find ourselves in a careers or jobs or work that might not be directly aligned with our intrinsic values or our childhood dreams or our life purpose, if we know. But it's very important to actually find or shift toward the one that is, or integrate our intrinsic values into our work. So let's now look into the tools. So one of the tools that Surendra had mentioned, the Tesla Genius Model. How does it look to you? So if you look at the model, okay. So we human beings, we have energy centers in the body. They're called chakras, yeah? We have energy centers and meridians. And as we grow and develop, they're slowly opening up. But through meditation, we can learn how to keep them open and how to open them up. If you look into this model, somehow this model is coded with esoteric wisdom of the soul. It's something that obviously my soul has put forth before I was born, because my tools come purely from my intuition. Regardless of my multiple studies, I do have methods and modalities that I use, which includes fasting and meditation, enhancing different senses, smell, light music, to help me to promote that intuition. And intuition comes from the heart. So the model of the health and well-being, whether we want to look into this as a holistic model of the health and well-being or a tool for 360 empowerment and coaching, first thing is we need to pull apart emotional aspect of the human being. Reason being is because we have emotions linked with every area of our lives. A big thing in today's society is that people cannot make a distinction between feelings and emotions. Feelings and emotions are not the same. Feelings, they're the mind flings, they come from the mind. And true emotions, they come from the heart. So true emotions are bliss, love, and ecstatic joy. And another one from the soul is light, love and light. Soul is about love and light. And these are our true emotions. The feelings, they come from the mind. So as a little secret that I'll share with you, which is not a secret at all, when we work with people and they say, I feel this particular way, if you ask them, why do you feel that way? They will tell you something, maybe because I think. And when they use the word I think, it tells you that it comes from the mind. It's the thinking, it's not the feeling. But the feeling, the true emotions, they're really deep, they come from the heart. So when we help people to get into the heart, they have completely different experiences. So for the purpose of education and training, I'll give you a little exercise. Let's do a little exercise together. Let's place the left hand on the heart chakra. Can we do it? And if you feel okay, you can close your eyes. You can put another hand on the heart chakra. So if we close our eyes and drop the intention and attention into the heart, then we feel our true emotions. But we need to drop intention and attention into the heart. So basically at every moment that we experience negative feelings or negative emotions, or we get distracted or experience anxiety or stress, this is what we can do. And what's going to happen? We're going to drop into the heart. So emotions, the mind, mental, flings, and true emotions that come from the heart. From positive psychology, they group them negative emotions and positive emotions. So negative emotions would come mainly from thinking, from the mind, while true emotions will come from the heart. And in reality, this is emotional intelligence. And when sometimes all of the time, but sometimes we don't recognize it's our inner senses. They tell us what to do, what not to do, but we need to learn how to listen to those. Those are not just our emotional intelligence, but also existential or spiritual intelligence. So, model of the health and well-being, 7 key areas of life: spiritual, mental, vocational. For some, vocational can be job, work, or business. It doesn't matter. For kids that are in the school, it can be educational. For those who have dreams, I suggest to look at it as a dreams. It's actually the throat chakra, the blue color, bright blue. Then we've got the heart chakra, green. Then we've got the yellow, orange, and red for physical base chakra. So this is the basic model of the health and well-being. Now that we have it, but remember the colors. Because colors, later, as we develop more educational material, we'll be color coding them. All skills will be color coded from the perspective of the life area where they belong to. So now, if you can draw the circle, you can do a little test on yourself tonight when you finish with the webinar, or you can use the tool on someone else. Can be your children, can be your partner, can be your kids in a class. And then draw lines from 0 to 10. And the question, there is a little question that we ask for each life area. For an example, spiritual. How happy, satisfied, or fulfilled are you in a spiritual area of your life? And normally when I ask people, when I test people on their wheel, I want to score their wheel. Reason why do I want to score their wheel? I want to find their weaknesses. Why do I want to find their weaknesses? Because I would love to see them empower that area. Because if they don't empower that area of life, that area will cause all other areas to, it works like a domino effect. And this is basic in coaching. Any area of our life that we don't empower, it's going to cause all other areas to just get weaker. So how happy, satisfied, or fulfilled are you in, for example, spiritual life area? And then the second question would be, how happy, satisfied, or fulfilled are you in mental area of your life? So how do we score? We look into, it can be, for example, for a mental qualifications or degrees, or the level of cognition, or even we can use the IQ score, in intellectual quotient or cognitive quotient. So I normally use 0 to 10 scale, and this is a Likert scale. So 0 would mean the least happy, and 10 outside, it would be the most happy or the most fulfilled. Fulfilled is one great word that we can use. So this is a little tool I can, in the future, in some other training manual, I might provide you with the whole, there is a lot more behind that. I can provide you with the more instructions, but that's a basic one. One thing that I would love to share here with the wheel, it goes back to the universal laws of the complementary opposites and yin yang. Left side of the wheel, if you look into the wheel, the left side of the wheel is 75% female dominated, feminine dominated, while the right side, mental, vocational, financial, and half spiritual, is masculine or male dominated. So if these two sides, polarities, are not balanced within the individual, the person will experience inner conflict. If it's not balanced in the family, we're going to have domestic violence. If it's not balanced in the country, the country is going to attract war. And this is something that I have learned through some of my studies. And every time that I work with people who do have experience domestic violence or inner conflict, I test them on the wheel. And females, they always have disempowered these three sides: mental, vocational, and financial. So I would encourage anyone, male or a female, to work on empower each area of life. It's very, very important. And at the end of the day, whether we are a female or a male, we want to be with someone who is empowered and fulfilled and happy in all life areas. Okay, so social and global coherence. So I have touched upon heart, intuition, and emotional intelligence. In psychology, there is a really great terminology. It's called transference. So what transference is about? Transference is about we pick up other people's emotions. We send and receive emotions. We send and receive thoughts unconsciously. So HeartMath Research Institute Center in America, they're doing an enormous amount of research on human interaction. So coherence, global coherence, what it means, we as a human beings, when we, for example, meditate and we in the heart opens up and we actually affect people around us. So the more people, or the more we work on our heart chakra and more impact it's got, the greater the reach is. And there is a beautiful video on, if you type in Global Coherence HeartMath Research Institute Center in a YouTube, it's going to give you a beautiful visual representation of how does that look. It actually looks, they've done graphics which actually shows like a human torus field, like a field around the body. And as we, for example, see each other, we cannot see it. But when we stand in near proximity of the person that's got an open heart, it can be felt. In the same way, if we in a negative states of feelings, we actually project that onto other human beings. And who is one of the great theorists in that area? Because it goes back to psychology, touches upon it, but it links with the field of energy. And these days we can see certain things with Killian photography or different instruments that are slowly getting developed that actually measures the field and the energies around us, within and around us. So I encourage you to do a bit of research on human torus field, or social and global coherence. It's linked with emotional intelligence and the energy of the heart. Okay, so beliefs, mind, we touched upon that. There is a beautiful saying by Mahatma Gandhi. It says, your beliefs become your thoughts become your words become your actions become your habits become your values become your destiny. So one thing that came up is in positive psychology that we touched upon and dig deeper, it's called optimism. So we can be optimistic and positive about life, and we can have a strong sets of beliefs and affirmations. But regardless of that, we need to take actions. Because sometimes people sit and they think things will happen by themselves. They just pray, but it's not going to happen just by the prayer. We need to take actions in most cases to reach to our destiny, to expand our potential, and to reach that mental potential of a genius, that mindset. Maslow. Beautiful quote by Sigmund Freud. We human beings, how we learn in life, we learn, the best way we learn by personal experience. And then he said, from error to an error, a man discovers the entire truth. So what I would love to share with this is that we human beings, as we grow and develop, our mindset changes. And unfortunately, sometimes we reach age 40, 50, 60, and we look back and we say, I wish that I did things different way. But at any given moment of the day, we do have that power to self-reflect and to sit down and think about things that we would love to achieve in life. What I normally use and suggest, it's called visioning practices. So to use visioning practices, we must first develop a really strong emotional intelligence. So emotional intelligence, it's linked with kinesthetic senses. So kinesthetic senses, what they are linked with tactical, but tactical is the touch, it's the skin, they're relevant to the skin and body movement, while kinesthetic senses, they're actually more relevant to what we experience from within. So when we develop strong emotional intelligence and high kinesthetic senses, then we can effectively use inner visioning practices to set goals and dreams in each area of our lives. So as we did before, we can score ourselves in each life area, and weaknesses, we can pick up 3 weakest areas, and we can, from those 3 weakest areas, develop goals in terms of how we can empower that area, and we can integrate that in our daily or weekly schedule, which is very, very important. So for an example, if I would love to develop my cognition or the mindset, then what can I do? I can, for an example, invest 1 hour a day in reading, studying, coaching, or something else. So this is a crucial thing. Any weak area of life, we need to empower it, and we need to integrate it in our time schedule and daily goals. And we can find activities that we can do, because not every activity will resonate with each one of us. So for example, mental area of life, we can enroll for a degree and get a degree. And by studying, we're going to expand, empower that life area. But some people might not like to be in a school or a study. What it means for them, they can just grab a book and they can read, they can do a home study, or they can go on a YouTube and study on a YouTube. By the way, one of my first books, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And this is the power of affirmations. We need to affirm in our mind that we are great, that we can achieve great things, and aim toward that. We are much more than what we think we are. So Jung had said, in each one of us is another one whom we don't know. And who is that we don't know? Maybe the older or wiser self, or maybe the genius, what it is. But it's up to us to discover and become that best version, the strongest, the most empowered version of ourselves. So I did mention some of the barriers. I will mention tools, some of the tools for quick empowerment. Coaching is one of the best tools that I use. I've got friends who are coaches, and if I get stuck, I'll give them a call and they'll take me through whatever my barrier is. And usually it's just the mindset. Then soul coaching is what I recommend, because soul coaching is very deep. We live in the area of epigenetics. So epigenetics is a medical field that tries to discover who we truly are and how deep is genetics. And from my understanding, and Bruce Lipton, where is his book, lovely book. Yeah. I met Bruce Lipton back in December 2009. So I've done, I attended one of his seminars. So the book is amazing, The Biology of Belief. So Bruce Lipton and Dr. John DiMartini, my teacher, they 4 frontiers in the area of epigenetics. And basically stepping back and just looking like overview of my studies with them. It's all about mindset, and it's all about emotions, and it's all about perception. Even the physical illnesses that that occur in our body, they can be so deep as our ancestors, deep as our genes, and it's so necessary for us to expand our knowledge, whether it's just when it comes to different areas of our lives, whether it's just our mindset, or whether we want to find out what's happening in the world around us, why we are the way we are, how can we become more than what we are. So techniques, one of the greatest techniques to help people who are really stuck is the DiMartini method. Coaching or soul coaching, holistic healing modalities, as I have mentioned, and self-help tools, self-help books, expanding the knowledge, meditation is a big one, art therapies, music, dance, engage ourselves. We can engage in the things that we love to do. And there are always things that we can find. So the mind, the perception, we mentioned that. Emotional triggers. Okay, so I'll just quickly touch upon emotional triggers. We do have triggers that trigger our positive emotions or the true emotions, emotions from the heart. And we also have triggers that trigger our feelings, which are based upon perception and past experiences. And what I say to people, always be aware, especially of the ones, mental triggers, because mental triggers, they are relevant to negative emotional states and they can drive us into behavior such as rage and aggression. So what I would love to bring up here as I talk about that anger and aggression, David Hawkins, Power versus Force. This is one of the golden books when it comes to emotional intelligence and how we can shift from to high states of emotions. So the heart is about courage. So empowerment, the power from within, it gives us that courage, or vice versa. So why do we need courage in life? We need courage to overcome our fears. We need courage to do the things that we want to do, but something is stopping us. So the courage is very important. It's the greatest trait or quality of the heart. So emotional triggers, be aware of your positive and negative emotional triggers. So human intelligence is Howard Gardner. Anyone interested in intelligences? Howard Gardner has written a couple of books about emotional intelligence. He did pinpoint 7, 8, or 9, and one of them is spiritual intelligence. That intelligence, unfortunately, hasn't been elaborated upon. So what spiritual intelligence is, it's existential intelligence. It's existential or spiritual area of the human mind. And the genius, our gene of a genius, is in between existential and cognitive and emotional. Aristotle, he has said, no great genius has ever existed without some touch of madness. We as human beings, when we grow up, we become serious about life. But in reality, deep down in our heart, we do have an inner child. And this inner child, when the child was younger, it was full of magic and infinite possibilities. And as we grow up, we suppress that inner child. So what's very important when it comes to genius, awakening our genius and empowering our genius, is by immersing ourselves in the things that we love to do when we were younger as kids. So I often do things such as blow bubbles in kids' parks. And I do it sometimes even with people that I work with. So we go in a park and we blow bubbles, we develop confidence, and we attract a bunch of kids and parents. And that's where the beauty comes from. So we actually demonstrate to other people and even kids' parents, be like a child. So it's very, very interesting. So cultivate your inner child. Don't be ashamed to do something that you perceive only kids do. Like go to the kids' park and go down the slide and remember what you used to do when you were younger. So those things, they bring positive feelings, they bring positive memories, they put us in that flow that we used to be when we were kids. Magic. Okay, so as a summary, quick summary, there are three pyramids in life. I'll just quickly show you something. So the empowerment, can you see me? Oops. Yeah. Okay, so empowerment. I'll just write it quickly here. So if you look into the word, I'm not sure if you can see, yeah, should be okay. Sorry, the lighting is not the best. So the word empowerment, what's really important here? Screen. Power. So this is like a little formula. And then we'll do a little, we'll insert one letter here, and then we'll get TNT. And we can look into this as E equals MC. Should we put square or should we put 3? So the empowerment, when we break the word down, this is the word wisdom. Same thing occurs if we look into the word enlightenment. I'll show you something. And this is where we get caught. Many of us get caught. We think that the empowerment comes from outside. We think that enlightenment comes from the outside. But in reality, it all comes through the heart and soul. So enlightenment. Can you see the word enlightenment? So it's light. Light within me. So it comes from within. Everything is already within, and we need to tune within. So these would be the 3 pyramids, a simplified model that I use. So the Maslow. So it's physiological needs, psychological safety, love and belonging, self-esteem, and self-actualization. These 2 are very important in the development of genius. So self-esteem is about self-respect, and it's all about the self, cultivation of the self. While self-actualization, it's more about cultivating that spiritual aspect of the human being. And how to do that? Meditation, the best tool. And once you get there, then we shift into the metaphysics and alchemy. How do we actually create? How do we create with the use of love and light? So this is, okay, I'll go back. Yeah, because I've got like 101 way how to explain something, but tonight for some reason, I just went with the free flow. I think sometimes that's what works the best. Just being in a free flow, preparing and then letting go of all expectations. So the Genius Framework, empowerment, 360 coaching, it's necessary to empower all area of life, to keep them all empowered at the same time. If there are areas that are weaker, we need to set a time schedule and goals and work on those areas. We can invest more time each week toward empowering those areas. So meditation helps us, promotes intuition, inner empowerment, and it gets us closer to enlightenment. And this is what Gene of a Genius is about. It's Higgs boson. It's enlightening, bringing that light into the heart, seeing that vision of who we truly are, or why we are born into this lifetime. And then we can align our actions to what's really in our heart versus what the mind wants us to do, or versus maybe what the mind says that we can't do, all these limited beliefs onto us. So childhood dreams in the past, in the present, our unique sets of strengths, talents, gifts, and abilities, plus intrinsic values. And then we've got the life purpose. So basically we've got the present moment, we've got the future, which we might have not discovered yet, and that's where the life purpose is, and that's where the genius is. And then we've got behind in the past, we've got a childhood dream. When I work with people, I often ask them, what's your childhood dream? And 50% of them they tell me, I don't know, I never thought about it. And when I really, I use a couple of deep questioning techniques to actually find out how come they don't have a dream. Because from my understanding, each one of us should have some dreams. And because they got caught looking into what other people were doing, so they took on other people's dreams. So an example of that is when I was a child, I used to see, look through my bedroom window, girls in a neighborhood, they all changed adult nappies. And I didn't find that inspiring. For me, I did my craft in my bedroom. I did drawings, I put boxes together. I made so much craft when I was a kid. That's what I love to do. While all other girls, they just did what they saw their moms doing. So we do most of us, we take on what we see from our parents, but sometimes we need to have that time to actually step back and reflect upon, hang on, is this really what I want to do? Or is there something else that I want to do? So with kids, the big things, and this is really good, like it's for educators to know, kids, they must be exposed to different things from the early childhood, because unless they expose children to certain things, they won't know if they like that particular thing or not. And so those would be some of the, how would I say, the puzzles to a genius framework, which is not just something that you can deliver in 40-45 minutes, but basically the key point is it's the belief, to develop that strong set of belief and positive affirmations that we can repeat to ourselves, that will open our mind to that belief that we are much more than what we think we are, and that we are a genius. So every human being is born with a gene of a genius. Your genius become alive when you follow your heart and do what you love, or follow the heart and soul. So it's the same. It's all about love and light at the end of the day. And just imagine for a second how the world would look like if each one of us 24/7 does what we love. It would be a completely different world. We wouldn't have people suffering from stress, depression, anxiety, mental illnesses. We wouldn't have people doing the jobs that they hate to do. So the life would be completely different, and which is ultimately something that's going to happen, maybe not in a year or a decade, but in maybe a few hundred years time, it's going to happen. And that's our ultimate objective or aim also as part of this group, to help everyone do what they love to do, to discover their unique genius and to shine that genius so we can all see that happen. So that would be, I think, pretty much for, so this is one of the beautiful tools that can help us open the chakras, balance out, open the heart. So just as a little summary, I might put some information together and edit later. I would love to say a big thank you again to Surendra and everyone involved in Educators Forum and as well Global Wellness Forum. And I look forward to actually see geniuses emerging out of these groups. And yeah, I look forward to seeing you soon. Thank you again, and have a great rest of the day, early night. And that would be all. Love and light.
Yes, Dr. Prasenjit.
Yeah. Just great. I cannot stop myself. I become just emotional after your discussion, Madam Helena. You have wonderfully make us remind that Sigmund Freud, the ego and superego, all those structure and superstructure, it has come to our mind now. You have just ignited to read all those, especially the book you have mentioned, the power of your subconscious mind. So I think we have to go back on the research on conscious, subconscious, and unconscious. We know that we have the lots of potentiality within us, and as you rightly said, the empowerment and enlightenment everywhere. We know that the source is the outside, the emotion, the inspiration will get from the outside, but definitely it should be the खुदा अंदर होना चाहिए, भूख अपना अंदर होना चाहिए. Only then we will be a successful man. Thank you very much, madam, for your wonderful discussion. You have wonderful discussion. You have just ignited all of us. Thank you very much, ma'am. Now it's the forum is open for all of you, the educators who are present over here. Any question, any query, any feedback from your side to Madam Helena Vukus. You are free. You may raise your hand. I will take the question. Okay, Srinivasan sir, please.
Sir, thank you so very much for giving me an opportunity to speak. Are you able to hear, sir?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Yeah.
Loud and clear, please.
And, yeah. So thank you, all the members of the forum as well as the Global Mental Forum, and a big thank you to Madam Helena for giving us such a beautiful session, you know, and making us enlightenment. And first of all, I would like to thank you on behalf of our Indian Forum of Educators, ma'am, for very graciously accepting our request for conducting the webinar today as a guest speaker. Ma'am, We are all extremely honored to have you with us tonight. And well, my name is Srinivasan Chandramohan Iyer, and I am a core member of this team forum. Now, as Jack Canfield has said, that I think genuine success comes from discovering what you love to do and finding a way to do it so that it serves yourself and others at the same time. Ma'am, I just wanted to put a question before you, that what is the
Yeah.
true meaning of living on purpose?
True meaning of living. So
Living
we make meaning. We make meaning to living.
Yes, ma'am. Right.
We make it, and we need to find that meaning and that drive, that passion, that love in each area of life.
Yes, ma'am.
But there is always a higher meaning, and the highest meaning is, who am I?
Yes,
and
definitely.
why am I born into this lifetime, which for me is what I say, meditate upon it, ponder upon it.
Thank you so very much, ma'am.
Yeah.
And one more question I would like to ask you, that can you please give us a real experience, life experience of how we can start with this living on purpose?
Sorry, living on?
Living on purpose.
On purpose.
Living on purpose. Yes.
So the purpose, we've got multiple purposes, different levels. So the highest purpose is that genius. What are the unique gifts that we came to deliver to the world? So that goes back to innovation, like Tesla, or Steve Jobs, Albert Einstein. While other things, they a bit like the purpose, the meaning and purpose. For an example, the meaning of life is to find your gift. The purpose of life is to give it away. And one of the purposes that we each have is to support other human beings on this journey called life, to help them discover who they are, to help them discover their dreams, to help them do things that they love to do the most. Or let's say, if you look at the meaning as a woman, it's also another meaning to maybe give birth to the child, get married, give birth. I've got 2 kids, by the way, so mine are big, 23 and 28, 2 geniuses. Yeah,
thank you so very much.
Different meaning, and it's always, good to actually sit down at the end of the day. Like for me, I'll give you an example. I drive home from work, and I love what I do for work. And as I drive home from work, I open my heart and I reflect upon my day, and I think about all these people that I made difference in their lives. How did that benefit them? And that's what also is that gratitude, the attitude for gratitude, seeing what we do, how that help other human beings. But one little thing here is I need to put in, it's not our responsibility to make others happy. Our responsibility is to actually help them discover what makes them happy, if that makes sense. Because we're getting now, especially with positive psychology, it's all about happiness. But in reality, our feelings and our thoughts, we need to be in control of them in order to do anything or fulfill our true potential in life. So the way I approach the situation is I always ask people, tell me, what do you love to do? The love, the word is the love. Yes. Because word love resonates with the higher center of the brain. Right. And when we use that word, tell me, what do you love to do the most? People just open up. It just right away. It actually leads them into that area. Yes. And gratitude is very important. Even after a long day, just sometimes we experience challenges in life. So looking backwards and actually looking into the benefits or gifts that we got even out of those challenges, because challenges in life, some people, they get too afraid, or they see it as a setback. But challenges, they're there to teach us the greatest of the most crucial life lessons. They're all gems of wisdom or strength or courage. They build us up.
Right, ma'am. Thank you so very much, ma'am. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, sir. We'll take more 2 questions. One from Madam Renuka Kumari. Madam, directly the question to Madam Vukus. Directly the question in a nutshell. Yeah, Madam Renuka. Please unmute and ask your question, please.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, okay.
Hello?
Yeah.
Hi, yes, sir.
Yes, you are audible, ma'am.
What did you ask?
Your question, your hand is raised here. I hope that you are having any question.
My hand is raised.
Yeah. Oh, it may be by mistake. No problem, ma'am. You are having any question?
But thank you, sir. But I want to say thank you
Sure,
for
sure.
really, I have no words to express the gratitude, but really, it was really a very nice experience. And I texted you earlier also that please continue this kind of webinar.
Yeah, madam is showing something. Let me show you.
Acha.
Uh, a man's ability to stick.
Patient.
Lots
Genius
of things which
flows.
madam is having. Okay, one more question. If he has raised, madam has raised her hand rightly. Madam Reena Manjula Ghosh. Madam, do you have any question or query?
Yes, sir. Thank
Yeah.
you, sir, for the opportunity. I would like to ask Ma'am Helena, can you just tell me very briefly the main difference between enlightenment and empowerment? Am I clear?
Yeah. The difference between enlightenment and empowerment you have asked. Madam, over to Helena.
Yes. So enlightenment is more associated with core spirituality and spiritual teachers such as Jesus, Buddha, Muhammad, Zoroaster. So they're all enlightened beings. So they all tune into their love and light. So when it comes to the empowerment, like if I look into the empowerment is being empowered. So for an example, love and light is about spirituality, but empowerment is more so enlightenment. It fits more into this specific area of life. And it also, that's the part of a genius, the mental genius. While empowerment can be relevant to any life area. And I see it as very, very important and crucial, especially for females these days. Because we still have many females that experience domestic violence. So I'm not necessarily saying just physical empowerment, do the boxing, but it's being empowered in different area of life, you know, financial, mental, career-wise, work-wise. So it's being empowered. So it's a bit different. So as I said, you know, so empowerment can be in one or more life area, while enlightenment, it's more the focus is to actually enlighten, to break into the heart, to bring that love and light from the heart, to open it to the soul. Love and light.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Thank you, madam. Any more question if you are having? Otherwise, we'll proceed to the conclusion. I need a focus of light from Dr. Surendra Das throughout the whole session. So please. Dr. Das, please.
Yes. It was indeed a very, very enlightening session for all of us by Helena. And a very beautiful question was raised by one of the member over here, the difference between the empowerment and the enlightenment. And Helena really covered up very nicely. When we talk enlightenment, we're talking about the more of the spiritual awakening and more of the spiritual upliftment. On the contrary, when we talk in terms of empowerment, then definitely there are various domains of life, and each domain is very, very important to live a very balanced, meaningful, happy life. So the whole exercise which is done today and the framework which is shown by Helena, I think we must look at this framework very seriously. Life is not only concentrating one sphere or the one domain of life. The happiness, the joy, the meaning comes when we take care of all the domains of life. And when there is a balance, when there is a harmony in all the domains, we definitely move towards the higher realm, and that is called the enlightenment. And then the whole purpose of the life is achieved by balancing different domains, focusing and improving them. This is a beautiful message which is given by Helena for today's webinar. I think the objective for which this particular webinar has been organized, I think we achieved the very objective, and definitely each one of us, all of us, will definitely carry the beautiful message that how we can empower ourselves and how we can enlighten ourselves and make the life meaningful, purposeful, and very, very beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your caution light throughout the topic discussed by Madam Helena from multidisciplinary point of view. I hope no more questions from the educators, from the school leaders, from the societal leaders from this particular topic. If not, directly we'll proceed to the formal vote of thanks. May I have our one of the core team members, Madam Chandapati, here. Over to you, ma'am, for the formal vote of thanks.
It's my privilege to have been asked to propose vote of thanks for the wonderful session. We can say it's a wonderful, rejuvenating and motivational session. I, Miss Chanda Dandapat, on behalf of the IFE team, extended a very hearty vote of thanks to our honorable guest, Miss Helena Vukus. She had taken a wonderful informative session on the topic expanding human potential through empowerment 360-degree coaching. Actually, she discussed so many things, and she has given us the path how do we overcome the weakest area of in our life. Believe in yourself, that is a very important point, and one point that human being is born genius. Only thing is required, we should open our mind and we should open the door, and whatever the sources are, we should take inspiration from the role model, books, many other things. We meditate, we should overcome the triggers, the negative things, obstacles in our life. She has mentioned names of many books which are very helpful for us. So I would like to thank you her, and not only that, I want to thank Dr. Surendra Das for inviting such a wonderful guest. And other than that, I want to thank all the 60 members who joined. And I hope next time onwards we will have her also, and we will invite her to know more things from her. Thank you and good day.
Thank you very much, Madam Chanda, for your formal vote of thanks. Let me add that only 60 members are here on the screen on this particular session.
One thing, sir, one thing, clap for ma'am and clap for this motivational session.
Definitely,
actually this is a bubble.
Definitely.
Meditation tonight. Meditation,
60
chakra
members
meditation.
are here. Yeah, this is streaming on live FB also, and I have believed that maybe more than 5,000 members will see this particular session and gain some important information from this session only. With this particular hope, I think I have to take something from Mr. S.K. Mishra, because his hand is raised right this portion. Sir, very quickly, whatever you are having to madam, or maybe any feedback from your side. Over to you, Sir Mishra.
Thank you so much, Dr. Prasanjit. I'm sorry for raising my hand late, but thanks for giving me the opportunity.
No issue.
And because of the bandwidth problem, I cannot show my video. And I would like to thank Helena ma'am for such a wonderful, the kind of energy she has shown. I think all of us have got energized further to do many such things, and definitely thanks to Mr. Das. Helena ma'am, I have just one question. You have talked about that intrinsic motivation, extrinsic motivation and all, but in a practical day-to-day life, what we see that generally we can motivate ourselves intrinsically, but sometimes the extrinsic factors definitely make us to to not to get motivated on its own, and there may be different things which can affect our intrinsic motivation. Though I hear many spiritual leaders and try to work on that, but definitely I have seen this the problem, a very practical problem. So I would love to hear from you that how can that extrinsic factors could be removed, and our energy and our thoughts should get motivated, and we can achieve the utmost of our abilities. Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, okay. So with motivation, that was through my studies with Australian College of Applied Psychology, bachelor degree for coaching, counseling, coaching, social science, but I specialized in coaching. So motivation was one of my focuses when it comes to research and reading. So the greatest articles that I have come across, it's actually research by Ryan and Desi, two guys. I think the two guys by the surnames and names. So there are 5 different stages of motivation, which is normally used in schools on kids in order for them to learn, study, and also in the workplace. So it's amotivation, which is completely when they have no interest. And then they've got 3 or 4 stages of, it's like processes of how they help them to what they're not motivated for, how they help them to develop that motivation. But in reality, so many years later, what the research had shown is that that type of motivation leads to remorse and regret, which is quite interesting. So, which is something that we can share on a Global Wellness Forum. All these papers, I do have references, and I probably have them in a file somewhere, research. So people can actually see and look deeper into all the side effects of extrinsic motivation. One thing that we can do, and this is what I have studied and done with Dr. John DeMartini. So I'm trained in his modalities, and one of them includes values. So values are very, very important. So the way that DeMartini looks into the values, he looks into, therefore, a series of 14 or 15 questions. And these are very, very simple questions. How do you fill your time? How do you fill your space? How do you use your energy? So I'll give you a little example. It's very, very simple. So this is my unit. So if you look at my unit, if someone comes here, they know exactly what my values are. This is my table. I've got books, I've got educational material, I've got the whiteboard on the wall. So that tells everyone what my values are. So basically, with DeMartini, what he does, so we first determine our values, our current values, and then we link those values with things that we need to do that we're not motivated to do. We actually link those things with our values. And the question that we use, so for an example, I need to go to the work, and let's say I love my job, but let's say that I hate my job, I don't like my job. But what would be then one thing that I should first look into? What specifically I don't like about my job? Because when I look at my previous job that I've done, my motive to work was to get outside of the home, because back then I was married and I had lots of marital issues. And this was ongoing, and I was experiencing depression for 3 or 4 years, switch on, switch off. And I was really good with emotional intelligence. So I went to work basically to avoid conflict at home. So that wasn't the right reason to go to work. However, I love the workplace. I love the company culture. I didn't mind my job. But there are certain aspects of my work that I love to do more than others. And those that I love to do more than others, they actually include train new staff and create guidelines and procedures of how people perform and do their jobs. And it includes lots of safety guidelines. So the question that I would then ask myself, for example, if I'm still in that job, would be how my job helps me to fulfill my values, which is, let's say, in this situation, education. And then I would look into all the benefits that I'm actually getting from doing that job, which would be earning money. And by earning money, I can pay for the courses, I can pay for the books, if that makes sense. But I need to find so many benefits until my mind actually starts to see and believe that it's actually helping me to fulfill my values. I don't know if that makes sense, but it's quite complex, even with DeMartini, because we've done training. It's like, I think 3 days full on training, and then we do lots of practical experience after, but it's a process that can be learned. And if you want, what you can do, you can look up on the Martini Institute website and download series of questions to determine your true values. But then you will have to go to the process, and even with kids in the school, like they don't like to learn a particular module, but if we help them to discover their intrinsic values, their interests, their strengths, their whatever else it is, then we can sit down with them and ask them series of questions. How you learning this module will help you fulfill that thing, you know, or maybe buy a bicycle or whatever it is. So it's possible, but I would always look into, I would rather find person's intrinsic values and intrinsic things that they love to do the most and look into those.
Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much.
No answer is right or wrong, but at least, you know, something from here or there gives a bit of clarity.
No,
Thank you,
ma'am, I
ma'am.
have got the answer, and I think the point to be taken home here to keep the intrinsic motivation keep going. I would like to take that, try to do more work than others. I think
That's the
that
thing.
would be the crux of the thing, what you have said. And I
Yeah.
think if we'll get involved in that, then nobody can stop us to remain motivated. Thank you so very
Definitely,
much, ma'am. Thanks
definitely,
a lot.
definitely. Thank you, Mr. Sir.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you for a brilliant question.
in addition to
Thank
the
you, ma'am.
formal vote of thanks from Madam, let me tell you, Madam, lots of applause, lots of hand claps and gratitude for you, Madam. We are handing over to all this appreciation for this beautiful discussion in this particular session. Madam, credit goes to all of you, and definitely I would like to thank Dr. Das once again, who is behind the curtain of arranging so many things, connecting you and connecting all the people. Madam rightly told by H.S. Raghav also, who is in this particular session, that when we used to take the psychological issue itself is a complex issue, but the very simplest way you have discussed the whole sum, this is really great to all of us, not only the forum, this is for all the educators. Let me conclude the session with a simple quote, that a dream doesn't become the reality through magic. It takes lots of discipline, dedication, and determination. And we hope with these 3D, discipline, dedication, and determination, we can definitely be a successful human being, a true educator in true sense of the term for the upcoming generation. Thank you very much, ma'am. I would like to request each participant, just put your mail ID, your name, your designation in the chat box, then you can leave, because we will provide the certificate, a joint certificate, an international webinar certificate will be issued to you. For that, we need your name. Name is already with us, but you just mention name, designation, and your mail ID, please. After putting this, you may leave the session. I am here for for collecting those. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Surendra, and thank you, everyone. So I hope to see you soon.